So come to standing, and as I said, this is a Tibetan heart yoga sequence, so just lift and roll your shoulders, and just take a moment to feel your weight either side as you just sway from side to side. You're balancing your pelvis, you're just beginning to weight your body, and then come to the centre and stand. Once more, lift and roll your shoulders. And bring your attention to the base of your base chakra, which is almost the base of the tailbone, right at the end of your tailbone. Then just move your attention up to behind the spine, but at the navel, below the navel area, the sacral chakra. And then move a little bit further to behind the navel. And then bring your attention to behind your heart, your throat area, behind the third eye. So this connects into the pineal and pituitary glands, part of your metabolic control. And finally then bring your attention to your crown at the top of your head. Release that thought. Raise your hands up and just gently sway from side to side, just stretching out your body. And then come to the centre and release your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders. So come to the top of the mat, and we're going to do a salute to the sun. This will be modified. So breathing in, and then breathe out, bring your hands together at the heart centre. Breathing in, raising your arms up, looking either up or straight ahead. And breathing out, rolling down. Hands out the side of your feet. Breathing in, step your right foot back. Hold your right leg high for a moment as you stretch out and feel the leg all the way along, not just the back of your leg, but all the way along the tailbone to the top of the head. Then drop your right knee back down to the ground and slide your left leg back. So you're kneeling in cat. Dipping your back into cat, looking either up or along the floor, again depending on your neck capacity, and breathing out, your chin goes to your chest. Breathing in, dipping your back again. And this time, as you breathe out, round your back, tuck your toes underneath, bring your lower abdomen slightly in towards your spine, as if you're zipping up a pair of jeans, slightly engage your perineum, and then coming into a very soft first downward dog. And take the time to spread your feet slightly further apart. Take the time to bend one knee and then the other, walking the dog. You can sway your hips from side to side. Both legs back, your heels don't have to touch the ground, they're just aiming towards the ground. And then bending both knees as you come back onto the mat. And your hands go to the left, which gives space for your right foot to come up. Hands either side of the right foot, and just enjoy stretching. Your chin is into your chest, there's a line all the way along your spine. Come back to a neutral level so that your knee is at a right angle. Tuck your back left toes, engage once more your lower abdomen towards your spine, engage your perineum. And then lift up your left knee and step your left foot towards your right foot. Press your hands onto your shins as you breathe in. And again, feel that length from the base of the tailbone all the way to the top of the head. Breathe out, bend your knees and bend your elbows out to the side. And then breathing in, press your hands on your shins. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, soften your knees as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And breathing in still, raise your hands looking either up or looking ahead, depending on your neck, and stretch your fingers, and breathing out, lowering your hands back down to the side. Lift and roll your shoulders. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart center. Inhale, hands up, stretch your fingers, almost lean backwards. Breathing out, roll down. Your hands are either side of your feet on the mat. Step or slide your left leg back. You remain high for a moment. You can use your right arm against the inside of your right thigh to make sure your right leg doesn't splay out. And then lower your left knee to the ground. Slide your right foot back. Dipping your back into cat. Looking either up or along the mat. Breathing out, round your back, chin comes towards your chest. Breathing in, dip your back. And then this time, as you round your back and your chin comes to your chest, tuck your toes, as we did before. You feel you can move your hands if you need to, and come once again into a soft downward dog, and feel that you can adjust your dog. Your feet can go wider apart. Feel the length from your all the way along your tailbones high. So to achieve that, or have a sense of that a little bit more, you can bend your knees, lengthen along your spine, and then begin to straighten your knees. But remember, you don't have to keep your legs totally straight. Just walk the dog, swaying, bending one knee at a time and swaying slightly from side to side. And then bend both knees back down to the ground. Your hands go to the right. This time your left leg foot comes up and your hands go either side of your left foot. You can stretch beyond 90 degrees with your knee as your weight's being supported by your upper body, but then come back to 90 degrees, angle with your knee, and tuck your toes, right toes underneath. As you lift your right knee and step your right foot towards your left foot, hands go on the shins, you breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, bend your knees and bend your elbows to the side. Breathe in, lengthen. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathe in, soften your knees, press your feet down as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing, raising your arms, looking either up or straight ahead. And breathing out, lower your hands. Just lift and roll your shoulders to get energy up into your head. And the next round will be just slightly quicker. Inhale, exhale, hands together. Inhale, hands up, stretch up. Breathing out, bend your knees, roll down. Inhale, right foot back, stay high for a moment, and then lower your right knee to the ground. Left foot goes back, you're in cat. Dipping your back, look up. Rounding your back, chin to chest. Dipping your back again in cat. And this time as you round your back, tuck your toes under and come to push your bottom away from you to help you into a downward dog. Adjust your feet and feel that you can walk the dog, and then you can also sway from side to side if you would like to. Both legs back, bend the knees to the ground, hands go to the left to allow space for the right foot to come up, hands either side of the right foot, lengthen along the spine, and then tuck your left toes underneath as you lift up and step forward. Hands on your shins, breathing in as you lengthen along the spine, and breathe out as you bend your knees and elbows out. Inhale, lengthen, and stay here as you breathe out. As you next breathe in, press your feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing, raising your arms upwards, and breathing out, lower your hands. Inhale, exhale, hands together. Inhale, hands up. Breathing out, roll down. Inhale, left foot back, stay high. And then lower your left leg, knee to the ground. Slide your right foot back. You're in cat. Dipping your back, looking up. Rounding your back, chin goes to chest. Dipping your back, looking up, and rounding your back, chin to chest, tuck your toes, come into your downward dog. Walk the dog, sway from side to side. Bend both knees back down to the ground. Hands go to the right, left foot comes up. Hands either side again of your left foot, just stretch forward. Bring your left knee back to that right angle as you tuck your right toes and step your right foot to your left foot. Hands on the shin. Breathing in, lengthen. Breathing out, bending in. Breathing in, lengthen. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra, stretching your hands up. And breathing out, lower your hands. So the final round is quicker again. We are going to aim at one breath per movement, roughly. So inhale, exhale, hands together. Inhale, hands up. Breathing out, lower. Hands either side. One right foot back, right knee on the ground, left foot back. Dip your back in cat. Round your back, chin to chest, and this time tuck your toes and come straight into a downward dog. Feel that you can adjust your feet. Stretch back in a downward dog. Bend your knees back down to the ground. Hands go to the left. Right foot comes up. Hands either side of your right foot. Tuck your back left toes. Lift up your left knee and step your left foot to your right foot. Press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing, raising your hands up. Breathing out, lower your hands. Inhale, exhale, hands to the heart center. And then drop your hands, lift and roll your shoulders, clasp your hands behind you and aim your knuckles to the ground. That opens up the shoulder area here. Then release your hands and slide them down the backs of your legs to the ground, hands either side. Step back from your left foot, left knee to the ground, right foot, you're in cat. Dipping your back, lifting up, looking up, breathing out, rounding chin to chest, tuck your toes, coming into your downward dog. Feel that you can adjust. Both knees back down to the ground, hands to the right, left foot comes up and hands either side of your left foot. Tuck your back right toes underneath, engage your perineum and lower abdomen in slightly. Lift up your back right knee and step right foot to left foot. Press on the ground as you raise up to standing, raising your arms. Breathing out, lower your arms alongside you. Lift and roll your shoulders. And come to standing, just hands at the heart, realigning your position. As we come now to rolling down to seated on the mat. And come to take any flesh that's under your bottom out from underneath and come with your feet slightly apart in a V, and feel free to use your hands to support you. Just extend your heels so that the toes go up to the ceiling and then point your toes away from you. Toes up to the ceiling and then toes point away. And then circle the ankles in one direction a couple of times. And then circle the ankles in the other direction a couple of times. Stretch your toes and just relax them. And stretch them again and just relax them. And then invert, evert. So both toes go to the left, come back to the centre and toes go to the right. So you're like swaying your feet from side to side. It's just moving your ankles and feet in a slightly different way. And then just connect to touching your hands on the floor beside you, which will have the effect of lengthening your body. Breathing in as you raise your hands up, just touch your palms together and turn your body towards your outstretched left leg. Your heel is extended, both heels are extended and your toes are up. And then bending your elbows to make coming down softer, slide your hands to your shins and just press your hands lightly on your shins to have a sense of lengthening from the spine to the top of the head, and breathing out to just come forward. Press your hands down again to lengthen from the tailbone to the top of the head. And this time just relax, coming forward and taking in and an out breath here. Your heels, both heels are extended, your toes are up to the ceiling. And you can stay like this, or if you want to explore the movement a little bit more, you can slide your right hand to the outside of your left foot, and your left hand goes behind you, and you would look with your neck long towards your back left hand. But if you'd like to stay with your hands on the shin, then please do. And then engage your perineum and tummy in again towards your spine as you slide your hands up the left leg. Come to the centre, raise your hands up, palms together, and then turn towards the outstretched right leg, bending your elbows as you slide down slightly towards the right side. Press your hands onto your shin, have that lengthening from tailbone to the top of the head, and then breathing out, just come forward. Press down, lengthening the spine, and breathing out, coming forward. And again, just relax, staying here, or if you want to explore this modification of Janu Siddhasana, which is head to knee pose, you can take your left hand to the outside of your right foot. Your right hand goes behind you on the floor, and you can turn your head, lengthening your neck to look towards your right hand. You won't necessarily see it, but it's just the movement of the head, extending the neck. And then sliding your hands back. Come to the centre as you raise your hands up, breathing out. Just bring your hands once more either side of you. And then using your hands to support your weight, slide your legs in and just bring the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana, which is band angle pose. This you can hold at your shins or your ankles. Classically you would hold your toes. That's slightly more of an effort, but whatever feels right for you. If you can slide your thumbs to the insoles of your feet, then just massage around the soles of the feet. It's very soothing and it touches on various reflexology points. So one point you might like to explore is the centre of the foot, almost underneath the big toe, because that's the solar plexus area. It rejuvenates your energy. But anywhere along the foot is very soothing. And the inner groin opening opens up the energetic pathways where you have lymph nodes at the lower groin area. So again, it's immune boosting. And then sliding your hands up your shins, bring your legs together. Slide your legs out. This time your legs are together. And take your right leg, crossing it over the left at the ankles. Hands either side of you to lengthen your body. And then take your left hand over your body towards the right thigh, either having the hand on the thigh or on the floor. And your right hand goes behind you. And you'll feel that this takes you into a natural twist. You can breathe in as you lengthen your body and breathe out as you turn. Depending on your arm length, your hands You might have your whole hand on the ground, or you might just have your fingertips. Just check that your shoulders aren't rising up towards your ears. And just enjoy this very gentle turn. So any turn is really rejuvenating because it just realigns the muscles on either side of your spine. And also a turn is good for the digestive system. And then very gently come back to the centre, hands either side. And just slide your hands down your upper right shin to come forward, compensating for the turn that we've made. Slide your hands back and hands either side of you to support you, and uncross your right ankle. Just waggle your toes and then pick up your left leg and cross your left ankle over your right. Lengthen your body and then take your right hand to bring it either to the thigh of your left leg or onto the floor, and your left hand goes behind you as you turn to the other direction. And how much you turn is absolutely up to you. Just enjoy breathing in and out. And you'll feel that you're also opening the chest on the left side here as well, just stretching across the chest, which is actually also beginning to stretch the muscles surrounding the chest, but also includes the heart. And then come back to the centre. Just slide your hands down the top of your left shin just to come forward. And then just slide up, bend your knees and hold your legs under the thighs. This is very much a modification of a boat pose. So the aim here is to keep your back straight and not to lean back so much. And that's quite a challenge. So holding underneath your legs. If you want to, when we come up, you can hold your legs in this way, holding your knees, shins as well. But just walk your feet back so that you can then just lift your feet off the ground and see or notice how much you've gone back to achieve that. You can stay like that, hug your knees in tighter if you want to. You'll feel your abdominal muscles engaging. The full boat, of course, extends your legs and then extends your arms, but just go to, it's quite strong on the lower back to do that. Just hug your knees in and then place your feet on the floor, hands in front onto your shins, and just bow forward for a couple of moments just to recover that breath. And then just very, very gently sit up. Hands behind you, feet slightly hip width apart, and just windscreen wipe your knees from side to side. Massaging across your bottom really. And then come to the centre, just readjust because you can move forward. And then very, very gently roll onto the knees and come once more to a very gentle standing position, taking your time. Tuck your toes, come via a forward bend and then rolling up vertebra by vertebra to come to a standing position. And then step with your feet out. So I'm doing very modified step out. A full step out would be that my wrists were in line with my ankles, and that would be a really big step out. So just modify it to how you feel that you want to step out. Comfortable stepping out. Rest your hands this time on your waist and turn your left foot in and your right foot out. If you find that you're wobbling slightly, then bring your right foot out towards the edge of the mat just to secure your balance. And just explore softening and bending your right knee to drop your weight centrally. Just explore, make any adjustments you need to. And make sure when I say dropping centrally that I mean not putting your weight onto this right leg, that you're keeping the weight into your back left leg as well, so that you're not straining your right knee. And then from here, just open your arms out into a proper warrior two, and turn your head to look beyond your right hand, the fingers of your right hand. So any warrior poses are strengthening, they're uplifting, because you lift from the chest, and that's just a subtle movement you might like to make. And they're grounding, because you're pressing your feet into the ground. They're brilliant, actually, for any kind of osteoporosis, all the warriors. And then just lower your hands. Bring your feet back to the centre, and then very gently turn your right foot in, and your left foot goes out. And again, you can place your hands on your waist to explore dropping your weight centrally, that you're not putting weight so much on your front leg, but you're evening out, that you're including the weight on the back. You can move your left foot out towards the edge of the mat as well. And then just explore a classic warrior two, dropping your weight centrally, looking beyond the third finger of the left hand. And feel that you're pressing your feet into the ground, which will lift you up, and particularly lift your chest up as well. And then just lower your hands, bring your feet back to the centre, and heel toe your feet in. So your toes go in, and then your heels go in, toes go in, and heels go in, until you've got to where you feel that you've got a comfortable hip width apart movement. And here we're going to do a Tibetan triangle, which is quite different from a normal triangle. So keep your left hand really glued to your left side to support you. Raise your right arm, bringing the elbow in, and the inside of your arm almost touches your right ear. Tummy in, perineum engages, and then just slightly slide over to the left. You're not going to go very far. You can slide and just come back out, and slide down and come back out. It's quite a strong pose. Chin tucks in. Press your feet down to support you to come up, and lower the right arm back down. This time the right hand really holds the right thigh as you bend your left elbows, snaking up. Your inside of your left arm is towards the left ear. Chin sort of tucks in. And just really use your hand against your thigh to support you coming over. Again, the aim is not to come in very far. It's a very strong stretch. And you can bounce if you want to. Press your hand into your thigh to support you to come back up again. And then breathing out, lower your hand back down alongside you. And lift and roll your shoulders. Place your hands on your waist. And as an alternative to a tree balance, we're going to do a much simpler lifting the heel balance. So feel that you can adjust your feet at any point and just lift your heels. Find your balance point of your eyes, your drishti, and just enjoy or not your balance up, and then when you're ready, lower your heels back down to the mat. Well done. And then dropping your hands, bring your thumbs together, raise your hands up, and just sway from side to side. So this is swaying palm tree, and it's a Vata movement. Vata touches on the medicine side of yoga, the Ayurvedic principles of the doshas. So Vata, just know that this movement is very good for relieving pain and just moving energy through the body. And then come to standing still, lowering your hands. Come with your feet a little bit wider apart. And we'll repeat that movement again, but from swaying from side to side. So this is a much more familiar movement. Again, anything with moving all your energies is the opposite of stagnation. So it's just moving the energy through the body. And the lymph system needs to be moved. It doesn't move itself. So this is a really gentle, balancing movement, and know I've said before that you'll find this in not just yoga, but in other forms of Eastern practice like Tai Chi and also like Qigong, which is a Chinese breathwork system. So just moving very, very gently from side to side. The more you have your hands up like this, the more it comes into the medicine side. It's a stronger movement. Feel that you're leading from your navel. And also you can see that I'm lifting my heels. That's optional, but it gives you more of a sway. You can do this anytime you're standing in a queue and you're just getting slightly anxious, because it distracts your mind, it distracts your attention. So in a queue, obviously you might not do it quite so much, but you would just perhaps gently sway from side to side, just very subtly moving your energy. And then just come to the standstill, just lift and roll your shoulders and straighten your feet. Just sense how that's impacting your body. Maybe a slight tingling as the blood has moved around the body. And just come to bring your hands to your heart center. Drop one hand, it doesn't matter which, to your navel. And feel, as you breathe just for a couple of breaths, that between the two hands there's a little bit of ribbon or sparkling connection of string or whatever of your choice, but it's straight, it's not buckled. Generally when we sit, we tend to bend over, and that wrecks the connection of the body. It doesn't really function, everything's compressed. So if you just bring your hand to your heart, doesn't matter which hand, and another hand to the navel, you'll just feel that lengthening between those 2 points. And the other point to make is that as in this standing like this, you're really focusing on your posture, but you're also lifting your chest slightly. And lifting the chest is really helpful for uplifting the mood, and particularly at this time of year where we've got grey skies more often than not, and when it's shorter days, and also, of course, our particular situation where everything's closed down. This is really, really helpful, and it's so simple. And then just release your hands and come to once more to the mat, because we're just moving from the heart centre up to the throat. But before we get onto the mat, I just wanted to invite you, keeping your hands either by your side or on your waist, to breathe in, turning your head to the left, and breathe out, turning your head to the right. Breathing in, turning your head to the left, and breathing out, turning your head to the right. In to the left, and out to the right, and then just a couple of times in your own breath, turning from left to right. So this left to right, of course, is working on the throat chakra, the energy centre of the throat. It's also working on the thyroid and parathyroid glands, which is part of your metabolic control. And you're also helping to balance the brain hemispheres. It's a very gentle movement. It's very safe, because you move your head as little or as much as you would like. It's very soothing. It becomes almost meditative. And then finally bring your head back to centre. Come to bring your hands to your heart centre, and take your time to come back down to the mat as we then work on this throat chakra. So come to bottom, feet on the ground, lying, knees up, feet on the ground. And take your time to get there. So your knees are up towards the ceiling, your feet are on the ground hip distance apart, and your hands palms down alongside you. Just move your head from side to side, just checking that everything is free Just check that your shoulders aren't up to your ears, that your shoulders are away from your ears. And start by doing a pelvic tilt, very gently flattening your back as if you were going to lift your bottom and then just releasing. Flattening your back and then just releasing. It can be an infinitesimal movement. It's just very gently pressing on the lower spine and then releasing. So it's giving a blood boost to that area of the lower back. And that gets so compromised for a lot of people because it's where all the movement happens around the L4, L5 vertebra. And now for the throat, and coming back to the throat chakra, which is quite an interesting point. Just as you press your feet into the ground, press your hands to support you to lift your bottom as little or as much as you would like. Your chin then goes down towards the chest. You can, as you lift up, just bring your shoulders in or even underneath. And then breathing out, lower your back down to the ground, releasing that lock at the chin, the throat area. And that lock is called a bandha, and that particular bandha is called Jalandhara bandha. And then once more, press your feet down as you lift your bottom, press your hands down to support your weight. Make sure if you go up higher that your knees aren't splaying out. You feel that someone's holding your legs straight ahead, and then breathing out, just lower everything back down again. You're moving and lowering your back vertebra by vertebra back down to the earth. And this time, as you breathe in and press the feet down, lift to the bottom, lift your hands as well, lift your arms. They can be bent, the arms, chin goes in again, and then start to breathe out, and then lower your hands, and then lower your back down to the ground. And relax. When you go slowly, you kind of realise just how heavy your body is to lift the weight and effort that it takes to lift the body up. And once more, press your feet into the ground, lift your body, lift your arms, your chin tucks into your chest, your Jalandhara bandha stretch behind you, hold, and then start to breathe out, and you'll find that your hands naturally follow the breath to lower you down, back down to the ground. And this time hug one knee and then the other knee into the chest, hugging both knees into the chest, and just rocking very gently from side to side. And you'll notice as you rock from side to side that you can almost go down to your elbow. It's again a movement that's entirely up to you. And if you hold your knees slightly further away from you, then you'll go slightly lower down on your bottom. And if you hug your knees in more, then you will find that you go higher on your back. And then again, the hands themselves, it's very comforting to hold the knees sideways, and that's absolutely fine, very comforting. If you particularly wanted to tone your abdomen, you would turn your hands round so that the fingers are pointing downwards to the floor away from you, and that the hold on your knees is very light. And in that way, your abdomen would do the work as you rock from side to side. And that toning work is even more obvious if you hug your knees into your chest and then let your knees drift away from you. And if your abdominal muscles do the work to hug in, your hands hardly touch your knees. But I do agree, it is so comforting just to hug your knees into your chest. And if you'd like to do that, then do, because it's a very lovely movement to do, just hugging your knees into your chest. And releasing, but you're still holding the knees. And then slide your hands down to the thighs. You can clasp your hands under your thighs, if that's good. And then just very gently raise your feet up to the ceiling. Just circle your ankles a couple of times in one direction, and then circle your ankles a couple of times in the other direction. And then just sway gently from side to side. You're not going to sway very much. It's like, imagine a strand of seaweed in the sea, and as the water's just lapping around it, it's just slightly swaying within the tide movement, or tidal movement. So legs up is very helpful to rebalance your hormonal system, your endocrine system. There are many other benefits too to having your legs up. It's reversing your blood flow, it's resting your body, it's bringing blood back to the heart. But you might not want to spend 20 minutes doing this, and we're not going to today, but if you liked this, then you could do this either like this, or do it against a wall, your legs up the wall. You could have support underneath your head or underneath your sacrum, or you could put your legs over a chair or a sofa, again taking the support you need. They're all counting as inversions. It's deeply calming. It just gets blood. It rests the legs as well, of course, as you're reversing your blood flow. And then come to the centre, bend both knees into the chest, and once more just enjoy hugging the knees in as you go either from side to side, or hugging in, just letting them go away from you, your knees. Or you can hold the knees and just make little circles with the knees going in the same direction, so you massage right on the base of your spine, almost on your sacral area. And that can be very soothing as well. And your circle can be tiny or it can be larger. And then perhaps reverse direction. It's all a freestyle of what you'd like to do here. Then very gently supporting your legs under the thighs, and then bringing one foot and then the other foot back down to the ground. And rest your hands on your abdomen, your elbows are out to the side, and your feet are, if not hip width apart, then slightly wider even, as you just sway both knees to one direction. Your head moves away from your knees. Head and knees come back to the centre, and then you sway both knees to the other side, as little as much as you would like, as your head turns away from the direction of the knees. And come back to the centre, and you'll find your hands very gently moving over your abdominal area, which can again be very soothing. You've got a number of acupressure points all the way around the navel area, which connect into all the organs of the body. So just swaying your knees from side to side, your head goes in the opposite direction. These movements that we're doing now come or form part of the somatic movement, which, cutting a long story short, are anti-aging. We can tend to, as we get older, and even actually quite young people, if they don't use everything properly, then their muscles can not be used and shorten slightly, and that pulls in at the joints of the shoulders and the hips, and that can set up a slightly aging, I suppose, profile. So this goes quite an easy and long way just to soothingly keep everything moving. And then just gently come back to the centre. Keep your hands on your abdomen, adjust your feet if you need to. And just for a moment, bring your attention, there's nothing for you to do, but just notice if you're holding any tension, just release consciously from your feet. Bring your attention to your feet and relax them. Bring your attention along the lower legs to the knees and relax them. Along to the hips, relax and let them feel heavy on the ground. Bring your attention up the body, along the stomach, the chest, just consciously lift the chest up from the ground and then just place it back down again. Consciously lift your shoulders up towards your ears and then just as consciously lower your shoulders away from the ears. And once more, just turn your head gently from side to side. And take a moment to have a thought for the day. In yoga, it's called sankalpa, your wish for the day. It can be very simple. It can be for yourself or somebody close to you. And just mentally repeat that wish a couple of times to set your intention for the day. And then let that go, safe in the knowledge that the intention has been set. And now just pick a favourite colour, or a colour that you associate with today. And just like a cloud of cotton wool, imagine wrapping yourself in your colour, like candy floss almost, and wrapping yourself in your cloud of cotton wool like an auric candy floss or an auric egg. You're wrapping and protecting yourself. Only positive things can come in, nothing negative. And then just let that image float away. And you can stay here just relaxing, or if you'd like to join me to finish the class, then just become aware of where you are on the mat and the sensations and sounds around you, the clothes on your body, the parts of you that are touching the mat. And then you might like to move your fingers and toes, perhaps hug your knees into your chest once more, however you want to hug them in. Maybe rock from side to side. And then coming up, you can either rock up or a more gentle ascent is to roll to the right. You can extend your right arm and then press down with your left to bring you up to a seated position. But if you want to stay lying, that's absolutely fine. And then just bring your hands to your heart, bowing your head. Take a bow for yourself today to have a lovely day ahead. And thank you very much for joining me today.